it's me, Sam, and this is By Hook or By Needles. And yes, it's another Sewing Our Ends video, because I've still got two sides of this blanket to go. I don't know how you're going with all your ends, getting them sewed in, but I'm still got a fair way to go with this. There are a lot of ends that needed doing on this blanket. I'm hoping to get it finished soon. But, because I'm not used to leaving my ends until the last thing to do on a blanket. I usually do them as I go, so, but anyway. How is everybody? I'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed thus far, and invite those who are watching and who have watched, who haven't subscribed, to perhaps commit to hitting the subscribe button. There's a bit of news coming up in a few minutes, which I will explain, which might encourage you to hit the subscribe button and also leave a comment, but we will see. Okay. So, I'm hoping everybody is well. My cat has been at me. She loves me, really. I'm sure she does. But every so often she likes to launch off my leg or my hand. And as she launches off, she sort of digs her claws in, and then she pushes down. And, yeah, I end up getting clawed to pieces. She's, doesn't care. She doesn't care. But anyway. Now, you may hear some hammering. I think it's actually my dad. My parents actually live that way. Next door, literally next door. There is a gate in our fence, and yeah, so I can go out my back door, turn right, wobble, what am I doing? Limp and everything, a few meters, a few feet to the fence, and then open the gate that my father put in the fence, climb through, and I'm at their back door. So that's great. It's been very, very handy with, with certain things. My dad needing to, bring me my medications and whatnot, but that's all by and by. Anyway. Oh, dear. Now, subscribers. No, hang on, no. First, I'm going to start with Teresa. Teresa from Critters Crochet. What a lovely lady she is. She's been trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. And in order to do this, one of the things she's decided to do was make a blanket. And for every, I think it's 5 subscribers she gets, she's going to add a row to this blanket that she's making. And I thought, that is just such a brilliant idea. But not liking or not wanting to steal anyone's thunder, I thought, I'll slip her a message and see if I can borrow, aka steal, the idea. And she said, sure, great, not a problem. So I thought that was pretty good. And I thought, well, I think I've got about 36, 37 subscribers so far. So if I do the same, but to get to 1,000, not 2,000, that's going to be 200 rows on a blanket. If I do 1 row for every 5. So I need to make sure it's a small stitch that I do. And having recently tried to do the, what do they call it, the cat's meow, I really fell in love with the knotted half double crochet. And I love half double crochets anyway. So I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use up some scraps. I don't know how many I'll cast on. I really don't. I'm thinking, if it's going to be 200 rows long, I need it to be fairly wide as well. Otherwise, it's going to be like a scarf almost. I can't make it too skinny. So, mind you, I could make it a scarf, and then it would be a really long scarf. But no, I'll make it a blanket, and I'll use up some of my odds and ends and scraps and whatnot. And I'll do, I thought, knotted half double crochet, because I want it, like I say, I want it fairly small. And the knotted half double crochets are really tiny, well, tinier than a double crochet. So that's what I thought I'd tackle. So I'll start off, I'll cast on. I will do a chain of, I don't know, maybe I'll start with 200 and see how that looks lengthwise. So I'll do my my cast on, and then I will do, what did I work it out, 7 rows? 7 5 is 35? No, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Yes, 7. I should have trusted my gut. Should have trusted my instinct. I was right. So yeah, so I thought I'll do my chain, do 7 rows, and then just wait, and just keep adding 1 row every time I get 5 subscribers. That was, I thought, brilliant idea of Teresa's, and I'm very appreciative that she's allowed me to, steal, aka copy, whatever, her idea. Now, also, I contacted, this is all like, as the heading says, it's Weave It In Wednesday, but it's also new stuff coming. So that's one of the new things coming, having a subscriber blanket. But another idea that sort of occurred to me is that a lot of people don't like or don't understand, cannot read, etc. The crochet, I call them maps, but I think a lot of people call them graphs. Where you get the little symbols. You get like a circle is, I think, a chain, and then a plus sign is a single crochet, and that sort of thing. And they map it out, hence why I'm calling it a map. They put all these symbols in circles or lines or whatever the object is you're making, and the idea is you follow it line by line to create the pattern you want to make. And I thought, well, I know a lot of people have trouble with this. I know I had trouble with this when I first looked at it, but I think it's a really valuable resource to have, because I've noticed that so many new content creators are doing the mapping as their patterns, sort of thing. They're doing the map, and because it's just so much easier and quicker to write than having to write out, chain X number, and then, do, 1 SC in every stitch and all the rest of it. So I thought, well, I want to try and see if I can teach people how to read them, but not by giving you a map and saying, okay, let's read this together, because I think a lot of people already tried doing that, and with some success. I mean, I think that's one of the ways I learnt, but I think maybe a better way to sort of pick up on it is if I do something. For example, I might do a granny stitch, a cluster of 3, and then show how you write that down and show you how that looks on a map. So that Mondays is going to become mapping on Mondays. I've decided that's what I'm hoping to do. And we're going to start off really simple. I'm going to start off with just literally doing a small swatch. Small swatch. Well, not that small, but maybe, I don't know, 40 stitches, 40 chain long. And then just basically we'll do our 40 chain on the map. We'll draw that out once I've done the chain, and then I think we'll go through all of the stitches. So I'll start off with single crochet, double crochet, treble, double treble, and that sort of thing, and showing you what those what the symbols look like to match the stitches that we've just created. So it's sort of doing it in reverse, rather than give you all the rows and saying, okay, well, this row is chain, let's do these chain, and this row is whatever, let's do that. We're doing it in reverse. We're going to do the physical object, and then we're going to write down what we're doing. So we're going to create our own maps, and I'm hoping that in this way it sort of might sink in a little bit easier. I know it sort of helps me very often if I sort of get an idea for a new stitch or a new pattern, or a stitch that I think is a new stitch. Very often it's not, because there are so many stitches out there. It helps me to write it down in a mapping way. So I thought, but firstly, I'll start off with something really simple. We'll just start off with a line, you know, back and forth, showing how that's done. And then, yes, we'll do a granny square, because I think that's really quite simple. And that will show us how to do corners and things like that. Then I contacted Crystal from Bag O' Day. And as we all know, she did a cowl earlier in the year. And I thought it was called Shawl of Determination. And I think I was getting confused with the Blanket of Determination that perhaps Mikey had done. I don't know. But anyway, I thought it's called Shawl. And she goes, no, I haven't got a shawl called Shawl. And I thought, oh. I had to have a look at the videos. And I thought, oh, no, it's Made by Madness, or I can't even think what it is now off the top of my head. Created by Madness, or with Madness, or something. But it's a beautiful shawl, and I know so many people have made it, but I haven't. And so I asked her, I said, look, can I use your shawl pattern as a way to try and hopefully teach people how to create maps? And she said, sure, if you think it'll help, by all means. So that's what we're going to do after we've done a few of the basics. What I will do each week is just simply, I will map ahead of time what I have to do. And then we will do, because there's so many combinations of stitches and so many, again, I think front posts and back posts, and I think she's got popcorns in there and she's got clusters in there. And it's just a great example of lots of different stitches, which will give us lots of different chance to, make a map for those stitches. So that's the second big thing. Well, I say big thing. I think it's a big thing. I'm really looking forward to it. That's coming. Yeah, I think it was. I thought I'd written down the name of the shawl, but I still hadn't. I will put Teresa, by the way, Teresa from Critters Crochet. I'm pretty sure it's Critters Crochet in the description box, and also Bag O' Day, but I don't think you really need Bag O' Day's link. I don't think there's a crocheter out there that doesn't know her, but just in case, I'll put it in there as well. Actually, what I'll probably do is put a link to the actual playlist for the shawl, the shawl cowl, crochet along. Yeah. Now, my other thing, there's two more little sort of things I need to talk to you about today. One is my community tab. I realize that because I don't do lives or premieres, there's no sort of upcoming notifications for you as to what my next video is going to be and or when it's going to be released. So what I thought I'd do is just in my community tab, I will just put a little notice to say, yep, on this day at this time, and I'm trying to put in all the times from I think you go from, no, west to east, east to west. I'm not sure which way the hours go. They either go east to west and it increases, like the east coast is 8 a.m. and then the next one is mountain, is that right? Anyway, that's, 9, and then the next one's, I think, central, and that's 10, and the next one's west, which would be 11. Oh, it's the other way around. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, and I thought I'd just put the times down, even though because of my being in Australia, I'm going to be releasing at either 9 or 10 p.m., which means for the East Coast, I think it's something stupid like 5 in the morning or something. But for the West Coast, it's a little less early. It's, at a more decent time. I will also put the time in for the UK. Their time is, if I release, I think it's at 9 p.m. For the UK, that's midday. I don't really want to release it any later because I've got it, this is Weave It In Wednesdays. So I want to release it on a Wednesday, and I want it to be a Wednesday for Australians, for British, and for the US, just so it sort of makes sense in that regard. So I'm going to put times, even though, like I say, the times are going to be absolutely ridiculously early, and I don't expect anyone who's obviously going to be getting out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning to join me with Weave It In Wednesdays, but at least you'll know that, yes, that's what we're doing. And I might even, if we're going to be doing something different, like in this case, because I'm also discussing new developments on the site, on my page, channel, whatever, I might put that information in there as well. So, yeah, that is that. And then the final thing I want to discuss is also regarding subscriber numbers and subscribers. I want to obviously grow. We all want to grow. So I came up with the idea, and I've seen other YouTubers do it, and so many do it. I thought, well, there's not really any one person I can message to say, can I use this idea? Because it's an idea that many people use, and that is a little giveaway. There will be a monthly giveaway, and the way to enter the giveaway is quite simple. You write a comment. Now, you have to be what's classed, I think, as a public subscriber, so that I can check that, yes, you are subscribed. And you have to answer the question that I pose in my videos. Now I'm going to pose a question every video, and I'm going to ask you to answer it in the comments. It won't always be a question. Sometimes I might just say, put the word whatever into the comments. Like this week, the question is going to be, I'll get to that in a bit. I'll get to that in a minute. We won't jump the gun. And that way, what will happen is everybody who makes a comment answering a question and who is a public subscriber will go into the draw. And then every month I will do a random name picker, or whatever they're called, to select someone to win a pattern of their choice from either Etsy or Ravelry of up to $10 or US, or up to $20 Australian, which makes it, it depends on the exchange rate. Sometimes $20 Australian can be $12 or $13 US. Just depends on the exchange. No, hang on, sorry, the other way around. That's for British pound at the moment. British pound, it'll be the same thing. It'll be up to $20 Australian, but in British pound. And British pound, I think, can then go up to about 13 or 14 pound per pattern. So, yeah. So, pattern of your choice that might be on your wish list, you let me know, and I will gift you that pattern. If you win the draw, if you are a public subscriber and have answered the question I pose. And you don't even really have to answer the question correctly, or a lot of the time it's just going to be an opinion. I might ask, what would you like to see? Is there anything you'd like to see me make and compare in knitting and crochet? At the moment, I've got a little list of things that I'm going to make and compare, but there might be something that in particular that you want to see, but that's not the question for today. So the new month will start every first of the month, and the draw will be done on the last day of the month. I will do a quick short or something showing the winner, who then has to contact me within 24, 48 hours or whatever I say at the time. And yeah, you get a free pattern out of the deal, which hopefully we all love free patterns. Which brings me to my next topic. Gee, it's really flowing very well for me today. My next topic is Kim from Fortune Knit Creations. She dropped a video today, a little bit earlier, about, jargon. Crocheters' jargon, words that crocheters use that maybe new crocheters wouldn't necessarily know the meaning of. Like, frog, cow, mal, yarn bar, and all that sort of thing. And so she did a great job of explaining all of those. And I was sitting there thinking, okay, why isn't there a specific word for those of us who collect patterns? So that got me to thinking, well, maybe that could be my first question. In the comments below, if you've watched the video, and if you're a public subscriber, in the video below, put down what you think a pattern collector should be called. Like, I think because Kim was saying that a yarn stash collector could be called a yarnaholic, for example. We've got that word for them. They're a yarnaholic or whatever. But we haven't got a word. And, we could be pataholic or patternaholic. But, I was hoping that maybe, people might come up with something a little bit more, I don't know, snazzy. So that's your question for today. So you've got to like the comment. You've got to subscribe. Not like the comment, sorry. You've got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, answer the question, and if you get chosen at the end of the month, you win a pattern. I think. Yay, I've come to the end of my list. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. That's all the new bits and pieces that I wanted to do or wanted to talk about today. I've got some yarn coming from, what's it called again? Wool Warehouse. Oh, that's what I was going to do too. On Fridays, I'm hoping just to do, I don't know how long or short the video will be. It will depend on how many patterns I find, as if we don't all have enough patterns. But my plan is to just drop links and talk to you about any new patterns, or make-alongs, knit-alongs, crochet-alongs that have been released or due for release in the coming week or months or whatever. And in that way, you can go and have a look. And if you're interested, you might want to join it. Not affiliated, I must say that. With and going back to the little competition of the giveaway for the pattern, it's got nothing to do with YouTube. All off my own back. Got to be 18 and all over. I think that's all I have to say about that. I think legally, yeah. So it's got nothing to do with YouTube. It's all of my own doings. But yeah, I thought, because I love patterns so much, and I do spend a lot of time online looking at patterns, looking at pattern tutorials, finding some really lovely patterns, and then realizing I've got no one really to share them with. So I thought I might start sharing them with you lot. So that'll be Fridays. So let's break it all down. Mondays. Mondays will be Mapping Mondays, where we will map, eventually map, Crystal's crochet-along crochet-along shawl she made, with her permission, I might add. Tuesdays, I usually drop a little tutorial of sorts of a crocheted item. It's usually a very small project. Yesterday it was a pot holder, coaster, placemat, trivet, whatever you want to call it. And it was a very thickened, padded sort of item. I think I've just got it here actually. Yep, I do. This is what we made. Oops, this is what we made. As you can see, it really is quite thick and padded, so it will absorb any heat as long as it's cotton. So that's what I made for Tuesday's video. For Thursday's video, stretchy. I'm going to knit the equivalent. Sadly, I knitted this and I thought, I think you've made this. This is what they call double knitting. It's two sides, but you knit them at the same time. I cast on, probably a little bit too tricky for beginners, so I thought I'm going to do a different cast on when I do the actual project, make it a little bit bigger, so at least when it's finished it can still be a cup mug or coaster or whatever. Obviously this is square, the other one's circle. That would be Thursdays. So on Wednesdays I hope to make a project which is in crochet, and then on Thursdays I hope to do the same type of project only in knitting. And then on Thursdays I do a quick sort of pros and cons, what's similar about both, what's not similar about both, what's better and all the rest of it. And hopefully you might pick up some tips or tricks whilst watching, whether you're a new knitter or not. The knitting isn't really aimed at, neither is the crochet aimed, I might add, at people who don't know how to crochet. There are just way too many tutorials out there on, how to do this stitch, how to do that stitch, how to make a magic ring, how to do a granny square, and all the rest of it. Yes, I did a granny square, but that was a 50-50 granny square, so it's slightly different. But yeah, so I'm not sort of showing you how to do things as a beginner, and that goes for the knitting as well. But I'm sort of showing people, or hopefully showing people, who have a little bit of knowledge how to do some of these projects. Just get them sort of thinking about picking up some needles. Or, if you're a knitter, picking up crochet hook. So that's Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays, well, that's Weave It In Wednesdays. Yeah. Eventually I'm not going to have anything to weave in. I'm going to have to leave stuff unwoven in just for Wednesdays. Oh, I hope I don't get to the stage where I have to create stuff to do it. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. And then Fridays will be, what did I say Fridays was? Oh, good Lord. Patterns. Patterns. Fridays will be patterns. We will look at what's come out or been recently released. For example, I've noticed that Skepjes, that is the SCHEEPYES. My understanding is that is pronounced Skepjes. And where did I get that from? I got that from a Norwegian? No, Dutch. Whatever the language it is. Oh, God, I'm not terrible. I think it's Norwegian. I don't know. I'm terrible at languages, knowing what language is what. But yeah, and the way I learnt to sort of say it was at first, it sounded to me like scape years. Not escape, but scape years. And then you sort of speed it up and it becomes Skepjes. That's my understanding. But you can call it sheep, yes, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter in the vast scheme of things. So yeah, I've noticed Skepjes have released a cowl. Their cowl for this year. I know Helen Shrimpton, who may or may not be a stranger to some of you, from Crystals and Crochet, is releasing a cowl soon, or has released. I'll have to check up on that one. So there's a few that I can show you and list and hopefully entice you to join, because there are some really beautiful patterns out there. I don't recommend necessarily buying the kit for the Skepjes. I looked at it and I was aghast to see that it was going to be, I think, the cheaper one was 265 Australian dollars. Now that's about 130, 140 US dollars, and about 100 and maybe 50, 160 British pound. But they're always overpriced in my opinion. Not over. The yarn is good. Don't get me wrong. I love the yarn. And one year I actually did spend $250 twice to buy 2 kits of different types to do the De History Naturale cowl. But I would never do it again. I mean, yes, like I say, the yarn is lovely, but no, I just don't have the money for it. So I will be using a different method of trying to get that done. But yeah, but on the flip side, Helen Shrimpton cowls are very affordable, her kits. She has them, I think they're available from a few places, but the one that sticks out in my mind is the Wool Warehouse, and from memory I think it's about £42, which is about 70 Australian dollars, which would then be about 35-ish US dollars. So, and for that you would get everything but the pattern, but the pattern's free because it's a cowl, and of course Helen does do full video tutorials of every stitch, basically. And she does a really good tutorial as well. Not like some of the garbage I push out. That's a horrible thing for me to say about myself, but no, it's not garbage, but you know what I mean. Her lighting's perfect. Sometimes she goes a bit out of the screen, but we all go out of the screen at times, I think. Yeah, she does a good job, and she does a great job explaining and showing us how to do her blankets. But more about that on Friday. Okay, so I'm just going to thread this one in and call it quits right there for now. I'll be back in a few minutes making Thursday's video. Not that you'll notice that until Thursday, but oh, I'm almost at the corner. Dare I continue after I've logged off? Anyway, thank you for listening. Remember, public subscribers, answer the question, what should pattern hoarders be called? And like, subscribe, thank you, and leave a comment. And I'll catch up with you later. Thank you. Bye for now.